In this video, we're going to have a look at how we calculate the change that's happened to an original amount and express this as a percentage. We call this the percentage change. So in our first example, we've got, for example, $20, and we can clearly see that it has been increased to $25. So first of all, I can identify that I've had an increase of $5. What I want to find out is, what is this increase as a percentage of that original amount? Well, I know that to find this, I'm going to take the increase in comparison to what I started with and express it as a fraction. Now, to get a fraction to a percentage, we simply multiply by 100. So in this case, I've got 5 over 20 times 100. Well, 5 over 20 is like 25 over 100. Or if we put this in our calculator, 5 over 20 would give us a quarter, and a quarter times 100 is 25%. This tells me that this increase of $5 is a 25% increase from the original amount. So what we can see here is that we've taken the change, I'm just going to write this over to the right, we've taken the change in the amount out of what it originally was, and we've taken that fraction or that ratio, and to get a percentage we have multiplied by 100. And this is how we find that change as a percentage. So let's have a look at another example. So my original amount in question 2 is starting with 25, and my final amount is down to 20. So if this was in terms of dollars, I would know that I've had a decrease of $5 or a loss of $5. So the change is -5 out of my original amount, that is 25. So -5 out of 25, well, that's just 1/5. And we know 1/5 is 0.2 or 20%. Or we can multiply this by 100 to get a percentage. So it means that I've had a change of -20% or a loss of 20% from the original amount I started with to what I have as my final amount. Let's have a look at our third example. I begin with $8 as my original amount, and my final amount is 11. So straight away I can see that I've got an increase of $3. So a change of $3 from my original, 3/8 as a percentage. Well, I know 1/8 is 0.125 or 12.5%. So this would be 37.5%. Noticing that in our first example and our third example, our percentage change is positive because they both show an increase. In our fourth example, to do with degrees, I started with 16 degrees and we've had a drop of 2 degrees or a decrease of 2 degrees down to 14 degrees. So a change of -2 out of my original 16 degrees as a percentage, well, 2 over 16 is like 1/8. So that's going to be a loss of 12.5% in temperature, or -12.5%. Let's pop down to now question number 7. We begin with an original amount of 40 cents, and our value has increased to $5.20. So we definitely have an increase here. And we have an increase of $4.80. What's really important though is that when we're comparing original to new amounts or final amounts, we need to have our values in the same units to make that comparison. So I'm going to change this to 480 cents. So in taking the change, 480 cents, out of my original 40 cents, we can see that our fraction is a lot larger than 1. So in fact, we have gained 12 times the amount we originally started with. So 12 times the amount we originally started with. So it means my percentage, when I multiply by 100, is going to be very, very large. If the ratio is 12 times, then my percentage is going to be 1200%. It has grown a lot in compared to that original amount. In question 8, I started with 800 milligrams and I've ended up with just 2 grams. Now, we might think that we've got a decrease here, but in fact, when putting these into the same units, we will find that 2 grams is the same as 2,000 milligrams. And in fact, we have an increase of 1,200 grams or 1,200 grams. So the change of 1,200 grams compared to my original 800 grams is 1,200 over 800 or 8 over 12. And we can see that this is the same as 1.5. So we've got an increase of 1.5 times the amount. And when we put this 1.5 as a percentage, we get 150%. So this shows that we've had a large increase. Let's take a look at this in terms of a context. So in 2012, the population of a town was 4,250 people. In 2013, the next year, the population had risen to 4,390. What was the percentage change in that 1 year? Well, we can definitely say that we have had an increase. So the change has been increased by 4,390, subtract what it was previously, which was 4,250. That will give me an increase of 140 people. So my percentage change will be the change, which was 140, out of our original amount, which was 4,250 people. And as a percentage, we need to times by 100, and we get 3.29%. Now, if the town continued to grow by the same rate, which means 3.29% per year, so we've got a rate, 3.29% per year, what would be the expected population in 2014? So this means we're going to increase our population. So we want 100% of what it was in 2013 plus 3.29% more. So we want 103.29% of the 4,390. Well, changing that percentage to a decimal is going to be 1.0329, lots of 4,390. And that's going to give us 4,534 people predicted for 2014. This type of percentage change is often used when we're trying to work out what percentage a company has made as a profit or what percentage a company has made as a loss. So going back to our first table, what I'd like you to do now is pause the video and have a go at questions 5, 6, 9, 10 and 11 and come back and check your solutions and then continue with the questions in your worksheet. So checking our solutions for question 5, we should see that we have an increase, so we have a percentage change of 54.8%, which is positive. In question 6, we can change our units to both be centimetres. We have a loss, so we've lost 40%, negative 40%. In question number 9, we have a loss of 1,200 grams, so it's negative 1,200 out of our original 2,000 milligrams, keeping our units the same. We have a loss of 60%. In question 10, changing our units both to minutes, we have increased, or a percentage increase of 66 2/3% or 66.6 recurring percent. And in question 11, changing our units to both hours, we have a percentage change that's positive 42.5%.